For decades, the silver screen was the only game in town. Weekends spent in the cool, dark belly of a theatre, lost in someone else's dream. We memorized the faces, the lines, the way the lights hit a particular scene just so. We were the audience, the silent watchers, content to let the story wash over us. But a shadow has been cast. The once sharp line between observer and participant is starting to fade. The reel is still turning, but a new kind of story is being written. One where we hold the pen. A lot of us still love the old way. Hell, I could watch Donnie Darko for the 22nd time after this is all over. But the truth is, the thrill we used to find in the flickering light of the projector, a lot of us are now finding that same emotional rush in the glow of a screen that talks back. And it's perhaps not a mystery why. Take a game like Death Stranding, a fractured world, a lonely man, and a desperate plea to reconnect to broken society. On a movie screen, Sam Porter Bridges' journey would be a beautiful, haunting spectacle, a vision from a director's twisted mind. But in the game, the emotional weight isn't in the spectacle, it's in the struggle. You're responsible for him as he climbs a treacherous mountain with a fragile package on his back, navigating every weary step, every slip on the rocks, every moment of fear as a ghostly shadow stalks your every move. The connection he forges with the world, and with little BB strapped to his chest, is a bond you forge with them. Or consider Red Dead Redemption 2, the tale of a dying breed of outlaw in a world that's leaving him behind. A film might show you Arthur Morgan's internal conflict, the slow decay of his gang, the creeping sense of an ending. But in the game, you're tasked with embodying him. You make the choices that not only define his honor, but shape also his final days. The beautiful, brutal world of the Old West isn't just a backdrop. It's a living, breathing character that you have to navigate, survive, and ultimately come to terms with. The story is a slow burn, a tragedy you live out day by day, ride by ride, until the final, heartbreaking crescendo. The choices you make, the people you help or harm, they become a part of your story, not just his. And here's another one, The Witcher 3, a cinematic masterpiece in its own right, with a story so rich it could fill a whole series of films. But the magic isn't in the main plot alone, it's in the hundreds of smaller stories you uncover, each one a perfectly crafted narrative with its own moral weight. A movie might show you a monster hunter, Geralt of Rivia, facing a difficult choice. The game, however, lets you make that choice. Do you save the village or the spirit in the tree? The right answer isn't always clear, and the ripples of your decision can be felt for dozens of hours, changing the world and the lives of the people within it. You aren't just a spectator to Geralt's life, you are the one who makes the hard calls, who lives with the consequences, and who ultimately shapes the legend. So, what's the draw? Why are so many of us trading our tickets for a controller or mouse and keyboard #PC Master Race? Well, movies are a 2-hour dance, a perfectly choreographed routine. The director is a god pulling the strings, and we, the audience, are just along for the ride. For some, that's the whole point. They appreciate the neat, tidy package, a story that starts and ends without demanding a pound of your flesh or 100 hours of your time. But a video game is a different beast entirely. It's a story with branching paths where your choices aren't just for show. You can get lost in a world for months, digging up every secret, living every character's life. You aren't just watching the hero anymore. You are the hero. And it's that kind of personal connection, that level of immersion that a film can't ever truly match. And so, to be clear, This video is not about one being better than the other. They're just different alleys in the same city. For some, the time a game demands is a deal breaker. They'd rather watch 10 films and spend 100 hours on one digital epic. They might see a film as a more refined art with its long history of masterpieces. But as games grow up, with graphics so real you can feel the rain and actors so good you can hear the heartache, they're starting to tell stories that don't just stand next to film, they stand apart from it, offering a kind of power that's all their own. So, if you're a movie lover looking for your next great story, maybe it's time to put down the remote and pick up a controller.
Or mouse and keyboard, #PC Master Race.
You might just find that the next best director you've ever known is looking back at you from the screen.